So today we have this 2009 Chevy Silverado. About 2 weeks ago I put a new GM reman transmission in it, and it has what I would describe as a torque converter shudder between 70 and 80 kilometers an hour under a light load. So I'm going to scan it first of all to see if there's any fault codes, and I see there's no codes in the engine or transmission. And then we're going to record some data parameters while we road test this and try to duplicate the condition. I drove it a couple of days ago and noted it. Tire pressure sensors, probably doesn't have any. Yeah, so no codes in any of the computers so far. So we'll set up the data recording and we'll take this thing for a road test. There's 78 kilometers an hour. I'm going up a light grade, accelerating slightly. There's the rumble. Slipping, chattering. I'm going to check to see if there's any, I've already checked to see if there's TSBs on it, and there aren't. I let off on the gas now, because I'm on a level area now. Try it again, light throttle. Be going up a slight uphill grade to get just the right load on it. So I'm replaying that recording that I took. Bottom left you see the vehicle speed, and it's in miles an hour. So 70 is around 45 miles an hour, and the data parameter above it here is TCC slip rate, and the TCC duty cycle is right beside it. So fast forward a bit. I'm on the throttle slightly. You can see the engine RPM, or the engine RPM, is slightly increasing. And now you can see oscillations in the TCC slip. So it's definitely a torque converter shudder condition there. It's getting worse now. And we're at about 45K. Again, we're going up a slight grade. Now I notice the TCC duty cycle is also changing slightly, but that could be in response to the engine RPM. Notice the engine RPM in the top left there. So there is a problem with this transmission, unfortunately, and I'm not sure if there's a flash file that might address it. I'm going to connect to GMSI and see if there's an update to programming that might address this. I checked for TSBs earlier and I didn't see any. So that whole event lasted 10 seconds. And then of course I had to get on the throttle a little bit, and it disengaged the torque converter. Okay, so we'll see what else we can find. So GM does have a new software package to ensure proper downhill mode operation, but I don't know what that exactly does. We're going to try and flash with this new calibration. No, it says it's the same calibration it already has. Well, we'll try the transmission as well. So we're reflashing the TCM transmission control module with the latest software. It did say it was already up to date, but I'm reflashing it anyways. Got nothing to lose really. And we'll see what happens. We'll have to do a crankshaft variation relearn after this event with the snap-on scanner. So we need to do this crankshaft variation learn after doing this. Set the parking brake, lock the drive wheels, cycle ignition key off to run. It's running. And apply and hold the brake, start the engine in idle. AC off. It is. And the next step, do not let the engine accelerate past fuel cutoff. Cutoff should occur between 4,000 and 5,000 RPM. Accelerate to wide open throttle. That's it. That just takes the slack out of the timing chain, I understand. Now the relearn is done. If you don't do that, it'll sometimes flag erroneous misfires. It'll show misfires on cylinders that don't exist. So now we're going to take it for a road test and look at trans data again. So it's still there. Try it up this slight hill, slight grade now. Between that 70 and 80 kilometers an hour under a light grade. There it is right there. Actually stays in about 80 to about 85. Slow down again. Try to climb this grade again. There it is. It feels like you're driving over a rumble strip on the edge of the divider or something like that, but it's not. If you weren't tuned to it, it's really tough to pinpoint it. If I gave this vehicle to 10 mechanics and said, go road test for a transmission problem, they would never notice it unless you drive it exactly at the right speed, RPM, load. Try again. There it is. Well, I've checked the tranny fluid level. It's clean, it's full, it's not over full, it's not aerated, it's the right fluid in it. So I'm going to take this to the dealership and take the service manager for a road test, hopefully, and see what they have to say.